So today we're going to demonstrate mixing up a platinum silicone called Moldstar 15. And Moldstar 15 is quite an easy system. It's just a 1-to-1 by weight or a 1-to-1 by volume mix ratio. And so that just means you simply take one part of A and one part of B by weight or volume and mix it up. Before we do that, we're just going to do a bit of a pre-mix. So we're going to open up. And we're going to do a little bit of a pre-mix to make sure that part A and part B are nicely mixed. There's a little bit of settlement that occurs on these products, especially if they have been standing on the shelves for a little while. So we're going to get the stick down to the bottom of the container and just make sure you don't have any sediments or clumping at the bottom. That feels pretty good. So now we're going to do the same with our part A. You can see a little bit of filler that's settled at the bottom. So that's what I'm talking about. You got to just get that mixed in. So that's the pre-mixing done on part A and part B. And then just for this demonstration, I'm going to just take, I think initially we're going to do it by weight. And we'll just do 50 grams of part A and 50 grams of part B. This is the scale I'm using is a 2 kilogram max scale, and it also measures in 0.1 gram increments, which is lovely. So I'm almost on 50 grams. Slightly over, I got 51. On the dot. And then we're going to do part B, same amount, 50 grams. Also just be sure to reset the scale to a 0 figure before you start. There we've got 50 grams on the dot as well. So I quite often get asked how accurate you need to be with this. I mean, these are both measured quite nicely at 50 grams on the dot. But if you have 50.4 grams or even 51 grams, that's kind of within a reasonable range. So if you're within about a 3% accuracy, you should be okay. So just try and keep it as close to 50 as possible. But if you have 50.4 grams, that's also absolutely fine. So we're going to give these a mix together. It doesn't matter which one you pour into which. And this is where we've got to scrape all that silicone across. There we go, and then we can just give that a mix. So this mold star 15 that we're working with over here has about a 50-minute working time or pot life. So we've got quite a bit of time to give it a good mix and not rush this. So 50 minutes gives us plenty of time to give it a really good blend. So during the mixing process, I'm also scraping the sides of the container, also scraping the bottom, just to make sure I've got that all blended in nicely. And then another little trick that you can do here to make sure it really is properly blended is to actually just transfer it across into another mixing container. If you're doing a small volume like this, you can kind of see where you've mixed nicely, but if you're doing a larger volume, let's say you're mixing up 2 or 3 kilos of product, you might not see that you've mixed right down to the bottom and the sides of the container. So once you've mixed it for a few minutes, you actually can transfer it across into a clean container. And then just give it another little mix. And then you can be sure that you're not going to have any unmixed material on the sides and the bottom of the container. And there your mold star 15 is ready for pouring.